more than just steel and gears. It pulls you in and doesn't let go.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Carousel Podcast. I am Isaac, and I'm here with Jacob Urowksy. But before we talk about him and his very funny things that he does, I need to read the sponsors. We got to read the sponsors. This is a marketing thing, or this is a marketing podcast. So we got to read the sponsors. So, here's the read. Having built web browsers for a decade, Jeff Bermont took his own money and built the first of its kind free speech browser and search engine called Tusk. Like Rumble and Truth Social, Tusk is built on conservative values. They don't believe in censorship. Try tusksearch.com on your phone or computer, and I'll tell you, there's nothing better when you can see all the stories that matter that others try to bury. Easily switch between right, left, and center. I love the anti-censorship newsfeed and the AI chatbot called Gipper AI. No woke answers here. Tusk is free. Get it now at tusksearch.com. That's Tusk search.com, and see what difference free speech can make. If you hate censorship like I do, and I do, I know you're going to love Tusk. Thank you, Tusk. Hi, Jacob. Which is not your real name. Hello? Are you there?
How's it going, man? How you doing?
Good. Now I can hear you now. You are a recurring guest. You got an echo on your side. You should turn off the echo or something. But anyway, it's fine. Maybe I can turn it off. I would just go to...
Is that better?
Yeah, there you go. Now you're good. Welcome back to the show, man.
Good to be here. I have a request of you. Last time I was on your podcast, your audience had some constructive criticism for me. They said that my voice sounded gay. So could you add some bass to my voice before you upload this, before we go live? Could you add bass to my voice?
It's live. It's already live, unfortunately. So everybody knows that you're a bitch.
What?
Sorry. Everybody just knows that you're a weak voice ass bitch. Did you ever take that voice, like how deep your voice is test?
No, I remember there was a right-wing e-girl who was doing a voice competition like a year ago, and it turned out to be just a way to dox people.
Oh, shit.
So, no, I try to avoid voice things in general because, people say that I sound like a gay Jewish man.
Yeah, and you basically are. You're so good at marketing. You are a gay Jewish man. You're far more gay and Jewish than the gayest, most Jewish marketer.
I get that all the time, actually. It's funny that you say that.
Okay, so you run KEYED, which is a cool energy drink that has a AI slop chicken as its logo. And has lots of different colors. There's many colors. The colors of the rainbow, you might say, right? And so your rainbow energy drink has mold in it, and you're doing a new type of marketing. So tell us what you did to market your drink recently.
Yeah, so basically what we did is we made a fake right-wing e-girl account on Twitter.
Who's
and
we?
Built,
Who's we?
We? I say we because it sounds more professional. I do this in my basement by myself.
Okay.
So what we did was we made a right-wing e-girl account and basically built up her profile over a day and made her do a little bit of a naughty salute, you might say. A kind of the Elon salute is what I like to call it.
The Roman. I believe it's called a Roman. I think it's called.
Yeah, she
doing
was a
Roman.
fan of history, so she did the Roman salute.
Yeah, doing a
And
Roman.
that blew up, got about 1 million views, and then we locked down the account for a day. Came back a day later, made it look like she got fired from her job. This girl doesn't exist, by the way. This is just a person we created.
Well, but she exists. She's a human being. The picture is of a human being.
Yeah, but I can get into that, but we created all of her, like, background. Like, I made her a fake Facebook, I made her a fake LinkedIn, I hooked up the LinkedIn to a fake Google Voice account, so I have all the voicemails of people trying to get her fired. So that went viral. That got like 60 million views. Keith Olbermann retweeted it, trying to get her fired. It was trending on Twitter. We got like 17,000 followers in 2 days. It was just crazy. Yeah. So after 2 days of that, we did a rug pull and said, hey, this is all in service of a mediocre energy drink.
Wow. Very well done. So okay, I think people are still not really going to understand exactly what you're talking about. Basically, you created a fake account for a fake person on Twitter. You made it seem like it was this like cute young girl who was blonde. And then you paid some actual young blonde girl to do a Roman salute, aka slightly Heil Hitler looking salute, which I'm categorically disavow, by the way, I should just say. But this is funny from a marketing perspective. And obviously the Kanye thing is, we should talk about it in the context of the Kanye thing, he's basically doing the same thing. So you're dealing with this completely inappropriate symbol that you've induced some young woman to make. So how did you induce the actual young woman in the picture to make the salute? And then she's also holding a sign that says, this is coffee. You called her coffee.
Yeah, so it started out, I started out with breadcrumbs. So I basically made an account that looked like it was a girl that had just discovered right-wing Twitter, and she's like interested in raw milk and stuff like that, and she's poking around a little bit, and people see it, and it doesn't make sense, right? Because there's this normie TikTok influencer who's in right-wing Twitter, so naturally they start asking questions. And so people come along, and they basically say, if anybody can prove this girl is fake, I'll pay $100 or something like that. So in response to that, I had her do a Sig Heil with a sign that says, I'm real, here's my username, blah, blah, blah. And that's when it really blew up. As far as how I got her to do it, I said, hey, do a Hitler salute. Also, what's your Cash App?
Okay, but who is she? Where did you find her to begin with? Where does she exist?
Okay, so basically, if you message 1,000 girls on TikTok, one of them will agree to do a Hitler salute for money.
Oh, got it. Okay, so you were just spamming girls on TikTok and being like, "Hey, I'll send you a Venmo if you do this."
Yeah, hey, how's it going? How's your day? How do you feel about Hitler salutes? Just normal cold call stuff.
And what did she say when you said, "Will you do a Hitler salute"?
She was like, "Yeah, whatever."
She just didn't care. So she was like, "Fine."
Yeah, well, so it's funny you mentioned that because I had another marketing gimmick I did before this that we don't really have to get into, but I got a lot of other women to say naughty things in an ad.
Yeah, I saw that also.
Yeah. So a couple of them also had, like OnlyFans accounts and stuff. And the thing with them is a lot of them were like, do I have to do the Hitler video? Can I just like get my tits out, please? And so that's how a lot of those conversations
I saw you
went.
posting that. You saw it was like tits out or no? And
I was like, no, no breasts. Just do the Sig Heil. Do the Sig Heil if you want to get paid.
So how much does that cost? How much does it
I
cost?
don't know, like $50 and like an Applebee's gift card.
Oh wow! And an Applebee's gift card. In or and?
Oh,
just
both.
one-
I didn't want to screw him over.
Wow. Okay. That's amazing. So did she get disturbed once she went viral and Keith Olbermann started attacking her? Did the actual underlying girl get disturbed in any way, or she had no? They don't know. TikTok is a different world. They might as well not even know.
Yeah, so I did take some steps to keep her insulated. That's why before I started any of this, I made her a fake Facebook and a fake job online. Like, she doesn't even work. So she didn't get fired. She doesn't even have a job. She's basically like a Brahmin. You know what I mean? She does TikTok videos and her parents pay for her shit. Like, she's fine. But
Brahmin.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. One of these TikTok girls who have a fake job and they just, they fly around and take Instagram pictures in different countries and, they're living the dream. You know what I'm saying? So this girl, it got so big that people who knew her in real life started to see it. And that's when we pulled the plug on the thing.
Because did she hit you up and be like, "What the hell, man"?
She was like, "Hey, 60 million people have seen this. What's up with that?" And I was like, "All right, so what do you want to do? You want to kill it?" She was like, "No, we can let it go for a little bit longer." And we basically let it get as big as it could, and then we pulled the plug on the thing. But yeah, she's fine.
Okay, and so luckily nobody found out her actual real identity, or that didn't go. That's not known.
Yeah, no, she's good.
She's good. Okay, yeah, because that would be the bad thing if she actually got screwed by this in some way.
I don't know. That would be even more funny, honestly.
Yeah, that's terrible. Okay, so how many drinks did you sell because of it?
We're sold out. So originally the plan with KEYED was to sell 3,000 cans. I just put in another order, which puts us at 12,001, and I can't get any more. It's actually a real problem because when we make KEYED, we make it with non-mold derived citric acid, which is a really niche ingredient. And I basically bought all of the non-mold derived citric acid in America, so I can't make any more KEYED. So I have to start manufacturing my own non-mold derived citric acid or figure out something to replace it with. I don't know what I'm going to do. But yeah, we sold a ton of cans, so that was great.
That's amazing, man. So 12. You sold 12,000 cans, or you're getting 12,000 more cans? How does it go?
Yeah, we're at 12,001. The reason for the extra one is because when I put in my last order, I asked for one extra can so I could tell people that we've sold over 9,000, which is an old internet meme. So yeah, in total we sold 12,001 cans, and as of right now I can't make any more. So I'm not very good at running a business, to tell you the short version.
Well, you're pretty damn good at it, I will say, because this is amazing what you did. Also, selling 12,000 cans of an energy drink is not really that easy, I don't think. I mean, that's probably pretty good for a DTC thing. That's pretty good, right?
It's good. We haven't bought any actual ads, so I think it's good for not spending any money on,
Yeah, real ad. Right, exactly. You're doing
Yeah.
It's actually kind of amazing what you're doing, because you really are I deal with DTC companies all the time, and they're always just trying to figure out how to crack the digital ad thing, and it's like you haven't spent a dime on digital ads and you've completely figured it out. So, but how do you sleep at night, being a public open racist who is hailing Hitler for money? How do you sleep at night?
Well, I didn't Heil Hitler. That evil TikTok bitch did.
Oh man. Well, yeah. So it's kind of like this Kanye thing, right? So what do you make of what Kanye is doing? It's kind of similar, right? Is this kind of inspired by what Kanye was doing?
I don't know, man. I'm not all that impressed or familiar even with Kanye. What I've seen from him, to me, it's just an extension of He's just he's Bantu Madonna.
Get
Like,
closer to your thing, man. It's you're screwing up. That your thing is going up and down. I think you're like going not close to your mic.
sorry, I was pontificating and I
Yeah.
backed up. Yeah, he's just Madonna. Like, people have been doing this shit forever. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna be offensive in public. Like, okay, but there's nothing particularly creative about what he does. Like, I don't know. Maybe you could sell me on Kanye, but like, you know, I'm gonna go out in public and talk about Hitler. It's like that. Okay, that's great, but to me, that's no different than Madonna, you know, getting publicity by being a slut in public, or Eminem, you know, saying anti-gay things in public. Like, people have been doing this shit forever. It's just the latest iteration of that. You know, it's a pop
No,
star.
but it's totally different because he has a shirt that he's selling. That's the difference. The difference is he's doing exactly what you're doing, which is he's tied a product to his saying the wrong thing, right? I mean, that's basically what
Yeah,
he's.
I'm talking specifically about the stunts he pulls. Like, when I think of, like, what impresses me would be somebody like Nathan Fielder, like a dumb Starbucks kind of thing. Like, that's really weird and creative. You know, like, you have to be a special kind of guy to think about something like that, right? It's almost like art at that point. What Kanye does, it's manipulating the media, which, you know, there's a skill to that, absolutely. But it's just like, you know, it's people have been doing that forever. You know what I mean?
Well, you're doing the exact same thing, though. I mean, no offense. You're literally doing the exact same thing. You're manipulating the media.
Well, I
Right?
think the difference is,
Dude,
if I
your
just
sound
went-
is so bad, man. You gotta like come close. I don't know what is going on. You're like, it's going in and out, and you're like, sound really far away now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. It's very odd. I've never. You must be using some kind of creepy Fed thing.
Yeah, I'm using mid-century German technology. I apologize.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess the difference between what I'm doing and what somebody like a Kanye or an Eminem is doing.
I'm turning your sound up because nobody can hear what you're saying, man.
I don't want to blow smoke up my own ass, but like, it gets into like, is it creative or not? Is what you're doing, like, does it take thought? Like, does it take a sort of a skill? It's almost, you know what I would compare it to? Do you remember those guys who did the fake bomb threat back in the 2000s for that Adult Swim show? Something like
What-
that.
What did they do?
They basically put up an advertisement that got mistaken for a bomb threat in Boston, and then they got a press conference and they went up and talked about haircuts for an hour. Like, it's really weird and surreal and interesting, and it's different than just saying things that are offensive. Like, you have to be creative about it. Like, if it would be one thing if I just went online and said, "Here's my drink," you know, Heil Hitler, you know. But what I'm doing, I feel like, is it's almost like performance art. That sounds gay to say out loud, but like, there's more to it, I feel like, than just being, you know, a shock jock. At least that's how I look at it.
I guess. I mean, you got to fix your sound, man. You really. I don't know what is going on, but you got to like switch or something because somebody just said your sound is terrible. But if people can hear you, it's fine. They also said you were hilarious. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think I don't really see the difference. I mean, it's because right. It's not like. I mean, I think both people, both you and Kanye, you're toying with. This is an inevitability, in my opinion. Like, when you make it this degree of censorship, you are just asking for something like this to happen, right? I mean, like, let me ask this. Why would you say that this girl went so viral with that picture? Just because it was kind of hot? Just because, like, why did Keith Olbermann weigh in? And also, what was the fake job you gave her?
Oh, I said she worked at
See, now your sound's fine. I don't know what the hell is going on. I mean,
Oh.
just stay where you are right now because now you're loud enough.
I turned the volume up.
There you go. Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah, sorry about that. So the fake job, I basically said she worked at like a daycare center, and I put a fake phone number on it. Then went to a Google Voice account that I set up. So I have all these recordings of like libs from Twitter calling up and saying, "Yeah, we need to get this girl fired." So I might post all those online. What was your question?
Okay, so you gave her this fake daycare job. Why do you think this image went viral? And why did Keith Olbermann get involved?
Oh, well, obviously that part of that is it ties into the Elon Musk thing. People weren't able to get him, and they were still pissed about it, so they wanted to get somebody. It's also just like, I think it freaked people out to see a normie doing that, because we're at this kind of tipping point where weird right-wing stuff is starting to go mainstream, and it made people uncomfortable to see like a normal pretty girl throwing a Sig Heil.
Right, yeah.
Like that was like a line in the sand. And then once they thought they had gotten her fired.
Now you're super loud again. I don't know what you are doing, bro, but it's the weirdest thing. Now you're super soft. You're super soft, you're super loud. Is this a viral marketing stunt? Is this a viral marketing stunt of some kind?
But yeah, it just became like that people wanted to dunk on her. That's all it is. That's what Twitter is. It's dogpiling. So if you can get into that dogpiling thing, you're good.
Yeah. So it was just liberals were infuriated that she would make this symbol.
I think so. Yeah, and it's also like a power.
What? Hello? 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 Dude, we can't hear you, man. We really can't hear you. I don't know what is going on, man. There you are. Now we can kind of hear you.
Okay, there we go.
Now you're really loud. But it's fine. Just stay loud. It's better to be loud than too soft.
Yeah, I'm going to stay hard. I'm going to stay hard for you. Okay, here we go.
You're not doing a good job of that.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to say it's your fault, just for your listeners. If anybody's wondering, I'm going to blame this on you.
I really don't think that it is that, but so yeah, okay. No, but don't you think that it's kind of like, it's just the one, like one of the actually, this is why I started my agency, is I was like, there's actually very few ways, or at least until recently, there was very few ways to fight back against, like, the bad guys. But one of the ways to fight back was genuinely like products, which you also found out with KEYED, because KEYED has also always been kind of like slightly based, right? Or very based. But it's like, yeah, see, somebody's saying your sound thing is a troll, which is very, very annoying if that's true. I really hope you're not doing that. But, yeah, I don't know.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can. So yeah, I don't know. Don't you think that that's, what's so performance-arty about it?
It takes planning. It's like Ocean's 11, but for racism.
So is your point though to be racist, or is your point to sell energy drinks, or both?
I think a big part of it is just, having fun and the friends we made along the way kind of thing. Like, I really just do what makes me laugh. That's my biggest priority. Like, I don't make a ton of money off this shit. It's just, it's a lot of fun. You go online and you do this big thing and you freak people out. I mean, who gets to do that? Like,
yeah. Well, that's what I like about it. I mean, I like the performance art aspect of it, and it's toying with like right. It's like toying with the media and toying with commerce in this like interesting way, and it's also just like it's just such an fu to people who want to censor everything. It's like, okay, well, if you're going to censor it, then you're so dumb. Like, okay, go ahead and censor it. It's, oh, she's going to make a motion. She's going to make a motion with her body. And you're so sensitive to the motion she's making. People are going to be so desperate to look at the motion that they're going to be like, all right, I'll buy some stupid energy drink that's, attached to the motion she's making. Like, ooh, oh no, like, there's definitely something kind of like jokerish about it in a good way.
Yeah, and then I deleted the account afterwards, which was a good move. 17,000 follower account.
Yeah. And did anybody, so like what kind of stuff has any regulator come after you or anything yet?
Not yet. But there's always time for that. No, I mean, all our shit is pretty straight across the board. Like, we have a co-packer and everything's FDA approved, and we do QA testing and all that shit. So I knew we were going to be pretty naughty, so I had to make sure my ass was covered. We're like a legit LLC, and I have business insurance and all that gay stuff. So yeah, no, Key's it's not going to give you ass cancer or anything like that. So the drink itself is rock solid. I post naughty words on the internet while promoting it. You know what I mean? So like, there's really nothing they could do except for go after my manufacturers or my website holders or the people who control my business license or my lawyers or my mail distributors. So I guess there's a lot of stuff they could do actually. But it hasn't happened yet.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised after this nobody's come after you, because I feel like they definitely will. Like, at this point, like, if you're doing this type of stuff, like, they're for sure gonna like come for you, right? I mean, like, they're not gonna just let this go. I mean, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, especially after I'm on here, because your boys are gonna see this.
Right. I'm telling
the Talmudic network.
I'm gonna also tell them you were messing with the sound on purpose, which is stupid.
I wouldn't do that to you.
Yeah, I think you were doing that, because now it's fine. Anyway, so especially now that you're a trickster, nobody knows what you're doing, like, one way or another. Nobody can ever trust anything you say, because you're a trickster.
I have to say, and this is one of the things I noticed, it is so fun being Jewish. I totally get it now. Like, I'm not even being ironic. Like, the scheming is so fun, and lying, and
come on.
Dude,
I'm a terrible schemer, man. I'm the worst schemer ever, and I'm Jewish, so it's not.
You're
all
half, right?
Yeah, you're saying I didn't get the scheming part. I only got the neurotic part without the scheming.
No, dude, you're like Blade. You're like Blade, bro.
I know. I'm the Daywalker.
All their strengths and none of their weaknesses. So like,
it's the opposite. I have all of their weaknesses and none of their strengths. I've not. Yeah, I don't get invites to the. I don't get the protocols invites. So I get all the hate and none of the money benefits. Sadly.
Yeah, that's brutal. Yeah, you gotta get in on that, man. You gotta get on that Gringotts money. You know what I'm saying? Those high interest loans.
Oh yeah. I don't know though. The more I get attacked, I will say, the more I get attacked by anti-Semites online, the more I don't care about like Jewish, like things like Cars for Kids. Like, the more I don't care about like those like kind of unethical schemes that Jews are sometimes fairly or unfairly targeted into doing. Like, now I totally get why they do it. Like, before I was always like, I had a roommate who was Jewish, and he made those like nighttime commercials where you bought commemorative coins. You ever see those?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of commemorative coins.
And yeah, it was like the commemorative Trump coin. and it was like infomercials. It was like at 3 a.m. and it was like clearly geared towards like a drunk 80 IQ, you know, like flyover state person. And I always said to him, I was like, this is disgusting, dude. Like, you gotta stop this. Like, this is so bad. This is gonna make people hate Jews in the long run. It's also just like immoral. And he was like, no, it's not. They want the coin. I'm selling them something they want. Who cares? You know? And at the time, I was so appalled and offended. And now I'm like, I get it, man. Because at the end of the day, all that the Jews are going to have is our, like, this is all we're going to have. We have to use our, you know, this is like Jewish power, because it's not going to end up, we don't have the demographics. We don't have the money, you know? So, or sorry, we don't have the, like, anything else. So it's like, these Jews are actually, who do that shit, they're actually just like girding for the winter, you know? They're girding for the inevitable winter, which of course, this is the problem, because it becomes a double-edged sword, right? Because then it becomes that's why the winter comes, is because they do, their girding for the winter makes it so the winter comes, you know? But I don't know. Now that like, I just, like, I feel like, now I like get it more. I'm like, okay, like it's not so bad. Like they're just like doing what they got to do, you know?
Yeah, you gotta store up for the winter. You gotta save that goy blood, you know?
Yeah, you gotta
through the cold winter.
Yeah, right. So all right. So what's next for KEYED? Now you are 12,000. That's good, man. I mean, that's got to be, you know, that's 50 grand in revenue, 60 more. I don't know. That's sick. That's good, dude. And yeah, it's really cool what you're doing, because you're getting like a, you know, it's like a, yeah, it's like a performance piece kind of, and you know, you'd hope that people would recognize the shit besides me, but of course they don't. So yeah, I mean, like, what would you do if like the New York Times tried to interview you? Would you do it?
Yeah, I had a couple of those type of people reach out to me with this Sig Heil thing, and that was a lot of fun. Yeah, some guy I don't know, one of these fucking gossip rags. And I basically I talked to him like I was a 19-year-old girl and I didn't understand what he was saying. So he would ask me questions and I'd be like, what do you mean? And he'd be like, can you confirm blah, 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 X, Y, and Z? And I'd be like, what does that mean? And we did this for like 2 hours.
This is what you were doing to me in the beginning of this with your stupid sound thing. Yeah, that's funny. That's actually really funny. And can you say what it was? Can you say which magazine?
The Daily Dot or some shit like that. I don't know.
Daily
One of
Dot.
these fucking things.
So was he hostile? I mean, was he basically like trying to fuck you over?
He was just trying to get like basic information out of me, like trying to get me to confirm details. Like, I think they just have to do that legally. Like they have to reach out to you. And he just needed like a yes or no from me, so I strung him along for as long as possible. I actually got him to send me pictures of himself. I told him I needed him to prove he was real, so I had him like do a picture of him like in his office with doing a peace sign and shit like that.
Sieg Heiling? Dude, you should that
I
would have been
should've done
amazing. Could you just lift your arm slightly more up?
Can you prove you're real by killing 6 million Jews?
Do you think that I'm trying to like undermine you as a Jew?
No. Have you ever seen that video of the people with the pet beaver? And
No.
they put the beaver in the hallway and it just starts building a dam. And it doesn't realize what it's doing. It's just running off of pure instinct. It starts grabbing pillows and blankets. And it just starts building a dam because that's what beavers do. You know, it's not trying to build a dam, but that's what beavers do. So, you know, I think that's probably what you're doing on some level. You know, you're just you don't mean for that to happen, but the Jew software is gonna fire up at some point.
It's really not.
Jew.exe is gonna fire up on your hardware.
Dude, there's Jews who are fucking own a bar, and they go to the bar every day, and they just run the bar their whole lives. I know one. That's all he does. He just wakes up, goes to his bar. It's a neighborhood bar.
Have you ever
He
poked
doesn't
around
do
the
anything.
basement?
Yeah.
You ever seen what's in his basement?
No, dude. You guys, that's your problem. You guys think that you literally are insane. You think that like Jews are really genuinely like every single one is built to destroy the white man. But think about how ridiculous that is for a second. Of course, the Jews have been around forever. Yeah, they're their own people. They are their own people. Every people is, in competition with the next, right? Every group is in competition with the next group at some level. You know what I mean?
I don't think, for the record, I think Israel is our greatest ally.
Yeah.
But if I had to play devil's advocate, what I would say is that people exist on an individual and collective level. And you have emergent phenomenon. So, like my Ford Taurus,
sure, of course.
My Ford Taurus is not a problem in and of itself. But if you get 1,000 Ford Tauruses together, it becomes traffic, and traffic is a problem.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you're not saying that, because you're saying that if I was left in a hallway, I would start being a beaver. And it's like, sure, of course. No, I believe that there are genetic predispositions, and as a Jew, of course, I have Jewish genetic predispositions. Everybody has that to some degree, right? I mean, every group has a predisposition to some sort of behavior, right? And Jews can be terrible in a very specifically Jewish way, just like every race can be terrible in a very specifically that race way, right? But that doesn't mean that there's no good Jews. It doesn't mean that every Jew is ultimately on a long trajectory, like how we're all balding, right? We're all balding, but it's just a long enough timeline, It's not that every Jew in the world is just eventually going to become the beaver and build their dam. There's plenty of good Jews, and there's plenty of Jews who are very pro-America and very pro-white and everything like that. Of course, are they a different category at some level? Sure. But it doesn't mean that they're all going to become evil beavers in the end of the day. There's plenty of good ones, and there's always been good ones, man. There was good ones at the time of American Revolution. There's good ones now. And you guys, that's the problem, is that you think that we're not, it's impossible to be a good Jew, and that we don't understand this stuff. Like, we know, man, the people who know more about like how, certain people feel about Jews they know this shit really fucking well, man. They know the history, they know everything that happened. They're students of it to a degree. Some of them. I mean, your everyday average Jew, no, definitely not. They don't know anything about it. But these people, it's not like they don't know like what the history is. I mean, if you've read the Torah, you have to know the history, because all this is it's in the book, at least certain interpretations of it. I mean, I think the Reform interpretations of it are very gratuitously just victim, right? But actually, like a Hasidic person's take on the Torah, it's like very hard on Jews. It's like extremely harsh. God is killing Jews all the time, like constantly, for not doing the right thing, So it's like, give me a break, man. Like, these people, they're not, there is such thing as one of them that has a good conscience, I think, and that's what I've just become disgusted by. And I know that a lot of people think that I, disavowed a bunch of people because of this and blah, blah, blah. It's more just that I think that, like, I don't really care. Like, I think that people should be allowed to have their ethno-state, honestly. Like, I think that white people should be allowed to have an ethno-state. If they want that, as long as they're not violently, removing people, they should be allowed to go somewhere in America and set up a community as they see fit. That's fine.
Sorry,
sorry, what?
I got distracted for a second. I have a soundboard, and I was trying to play a sound effect of a bunch of pennies falling on the ground to see how you would react.
Yeah, thanks. But do you see what I'm saying? Look, they should be allowed to do it, but then fine. If you want to be like Jewish removal, or you remove yourself from Jews, whichever, not whichever. Actually, one is way worse than the other. Say you want to just remove yourself, that's fine. But then you got to remove yourself. Then like do it. Don't be friends with me. You can't like both be friends with me and do that. Like that's not that's not how that works. You got to live by what you think, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, you know me. A lot of the stuff I say is, it's to be. I mean, you know my deal. But what I would say is the problem is diasporas as such. So if you look at the way Indian Americans operate, for example, the problem is that they view themselves as part of two different tribes. So like a great example would be American penny auctions after the Great Depression. So like you've probably seen this before. American penny auctions, a lot of people went bankrupt. The whole community would get together during the auction, and there would be a guy in the back of the auction holding a rope. And the idea was that if anyone bids on this, old lady's farm, tries to buy it out from under her, we're going to take that guy and we're going to string him up from a tree, right? And this is how communities looked out for each other. They stopped bankrupt farms from being sold, right? They kept it in the original owner's hands. So let's say you don't view yourself as being part of that community, right? Let's say not only are you not part of that community, these people have oppressed you for a very long time and you have a very genuine grudge against them, right? Hard times bring out, what's really in your heart. And, some people would say that's what happened in Germany before World War II. You know what I mean? When things go sideways, you really see who views you as kin and who doesn't. And I think that's the deal.
Sure.
With, it's easy to be all kumbaya when we're in one of the most, wealthy times in human history. You know what I'm saying? But when your back is against the wall and there are real problems out there, there's an in group and an out group, and who are you going to sacrifice for?
Yeah, of course, man. Look, nobody is arguing with that. Nobody is saying that Jews are the exact same thing as Christian Americans. Obviously, it's different groups, right? And Jews have their own unique history. It's like they have their own unique shit, right? But again, that's not the world we live in. The world we live in is very rarely in that situation that Germany was in during that time, right? I mean, it's very, very
What, having really bad inflation?
I mean, that was inflation to a degree that we can't even conceptualize. It was like 4 million %, and
Transgenderism on the rise.
Sure, but they'd also just lost a huge war and had no money at all. And they were also, had a whole
When was the last time we won a war?
thing. Well, we haven't lost a world war, though, in the past 10 years, sadly. In any case, that's not what America is. America's not Germany. It's a different thing. It's not the same.
I agree with that. Yeah.
America's an idea, didn't you know? Didn't you know that America's only an idea?
Build that dam, baby. Build that dam.
It is an idea. So you have no basis to stand on. No, dude, America's a different thing. It's not Germany. And even Germany, I'm sure even the Nazis, the whole, who did they really hate? They hated the Slavs. You don't hear about that too much. They were cleansing everybody. It's not just the Jews. I mean, they were cleansing the Jews majorly, but they were also cleansing all kinds of other people. And look, that type of kind of like blood and soil stuff, I get it, but that's America. I mean, like, you will never convince me that I have loyalty to Israel before America, man. You will never, ever convince me of that. Like, that's completely insane. Like, I have zero loyalty to Israel. I don't give a fuck. I mean, I don't care. Okay, do I give a fuck? Maybe I give a fuck on some level because for these exact reasons we're talking about. But there are plenty of Jews who are far more American than they are in any way related to Israel. And it's like they've been here for hundreds and hundreds of years. And, just like black people, there's a bunch of, are you really going to say African Americans aren't American? Like, of course they're American, right? You can't say they're not American. You can't say they are part of a different tribe to a degree, right? If push comes to shove, black people are not white people, right? Yes, that's obviously true. But if that push comes to shove, there's going to be all kinds of divisions of people who are, I'm on this side of the thing. What happened in Germany, like that's not really that common. How that went. Usually it's like religion. I mean, that's what it was before, right? It was like it was like we got to get the Expel the Muslims from the Iberian Peninsula. You know, it wasn't like that what it was before?
Yeah, but religion is just a proxy for ethnicity in most cases.
True.
But I do agree with you. Germany is not America. That's something I try to explain to wingnats a lot. That America is not what you want it to be. It's not this. In a lot of cases, Jews, I would use you as an example, are much so more American than a lot of wingnats as far as what your values are relative to American values.
A lot of them are brand new. A lot of them are like some Slav that got here, even in Hart Cellar.
I don't mean that. I mean that as far as what America stands for, it's a very modern, very sort of gay communist thing. America always has been. And it's very Jewish. I mean, the Supreme Court is extremely Jewish, for example. The sort of decentralized materialist legalism, all this stuff is pretty Jewish.
Yeah, sure.
And, it's kind of the opposite of, this German nationalist, pseudo-spiritual, blood myths, so almost like pre-modern thing they were trying to do. Yeah, that's like the antithesis of America. So I agree. Like, if you want that, you got to go start your own thing. You got to go start a compound or whatever.
It's very Jewish, but it's also very pure. It's very Protestant, right? I mean, it's also is really very puritanical. I mean, those people were basically communists. We kind of forget about that. But those congregationalists that came here, they were very commie-ish in their overall outlook. Their whole thing was like, no, cut down the tall trees. That was basically their vibe. So that's
interesting because you're an anti-Longhouse guy.
Yes, I am. I'm anti-Longhouse.
But yet you love America.
And I love America because it's like I don't really have any other place, I mean, also on my dad's side, my parent, we have the thing to the Mayflower. So it's like, I certainly don't feel any loyalty to anywhere else besides America at all. And yeah, but you're right. It's like, you're right. America actually is pretty longhousey as a place, right? Like that's kind of the point you're making, right?
Yeah. What were you saying? You said your family owned slave ships?
No. They were Northerners on that side. The Jews came much later. They were at-post slaves. You don't hear much about those. Who were those Jewish families, the really early Jewish families? You don't really hear too much about them.
Yeah, you got to get the Nation of Islam has some great books on that. I can recommend you.
The Arabs are worse than anybody, though. Do you know that? Here's an interesting fact. Do you know that the mestizos are super Arab? People don't think about that. But Arabs and mestizos, it's the same meaning. Arab means mixed, and mestizo obviously means mixed, and mestizo being like the people from Mexico. But part of the reason they are the way they are is because machismo comes from Arab Spain. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, when you go to a bar and they got the top shelf stuff and the bottom shelf stuff, and then you can buy the swill, which is all the stuff mixed together. They sell swill shots. That's Central America.
Yeah, I like Central America too, though. They're cool. Speaking of non-longhouse, they're definitely not longhouse down there.
Well, they've figured out segregation down there. That's one of the interesting things about Central and South America is that they've really got, the walled garden thing going on, which is something I think we could learn from in America. The idea that, you just get your community and you put your fences up and your private security and your private schools. And, we kind of made that illegal here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You mean but are they super segregated by race, though?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, different rate. Well, I mean, you'd have to break down race and get into different ethnicities because it gets kind of complicated. To be a professional racist, you have to understand thousands of different races and the different combinations, and it gets pretty complicated. And it's not as simple as white and black. Like, you know, Cherokees, for example. I would take Cherokees over Irish. Caribs, I would take them over most Southern Europeans, for example. So you really have to break these people down into where they come from. And Central America, a lot of the lighter skin tone people, Argentina, for example, they try to push out all of the immigrants because they have the same problem we do, is immigration from like Ecuador and all these countries. So you can really pinpoint like where the problem areas are if you know what you're looking for.
Right. So what do you want? What sort of life and world would you like to see? You want to be a drink magnate for sure. So if you're building your drink magnate, you know, like the guy who made Domino's Pizza, didn't the Domino's Pizza guy like make his own society somewhere, like his own like Catholic society? I think he did.
Papa John?
was it Papa John or was it Mr. Domino? But
I would live in the Papa John
you'd live in
ethno
Papa
state.
John
I would
ethno
totally
state.
sign up.
So yeah, what does Jacob Urowsky's ethno state look like? Free key. That's for sure.
I would, you know, like a skyscraper full of child brides, and you know, guard dogs and sniper towers and all that sort of stuff, and you know, just right now I live in the middle of nowhere, and I kind of I bought at the top because I moved out of Seattle. I came down here to the south, and we just got our first gay pride parade. So we're just starting to get the woke.
Wow.
So now I'm thinking I got to move back.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That is kind of how it is, man. It's
But,
like, that's what I'm hearing from everybody. That's like San Francisco's like anti-woke now. Like you go to San Francisco and it's like everybody's now like saying gay and retarded like everywhere. I mean, that's
Is
what
it
I've
really?
heard. I don't know.
You kind of started that, huh?
Yeah, I started that. Yes, that's what was me. I started saying gay and retarded. No, it wasn't me.
Well, no, I seriously mean that. You were one of the, I would imagine you were one of the first guys to be publicly doing this shit out in California.
Doing what? Making mediocre shit posts? Yeah, no, I'm sure there were other people, you know, who did that. But yeah, I mean, I was out before others. I mean, I will say the one thing that was actually really interesting is, so in 2016, I voted for Trump, and it was like, then I got fired from my job like right after, which really sucked. And then I just watched it at a bar. I was secretly happy. Nobody else was happy. Of course, everybody else was freaking out and saying fuck you to me in every possible way. 2020, it was quiet. You know, no one was pro-Trump outwardly. Everybody was really quiet about it. Nobody talked about it. It kind of just like, it was almost like not a big deal, weirdly. And in 2020, this time, it was like I had 100 friends that were with me and we were celebrating. And so that was a huge shift. I mean, that really was a big shift. And yeah, that was LA, right? It's like, would that same thing have happened in, you know, some provincial place? Like maybe not, you know?
Yeah, I remember growing up, all my friends were like Antifa types. Like people just used to mix like that before 2016.
Yeah, could
like
you
super
imagine? Yeah.
left wing, artsy faggots.
Yeah.
Like I used to live in almost like a cult with these people, a bunch of Antifa
Really?
type guys. We lived on this. Yeah, we lived on a Mexican. Basically, this Mexican family had a farm with a mother-in-law suite, and they didn't understand how like property laws work, so we just moved onto their land.
Whoa.
And the Antifa people had cats that would piss in the oven. So every time you would cook food, the entire house would smell like cat piss.
That's so funny.
And but I would just hang out with these people, and like I would say all the same shit I'm saying to you, and we were like best friends. Like it just didn't
Really?
matter.
Wait, so you were living in like a commune?
Yeah. It was just like a buddy of mine moved into this place, and then another guy moved in, and then another couple people, and we were all just like living on this farm. And there was like a bowl in the backyard. It was pretty wild. But yeah, my point is that like
interesting.
they just didn't care until
How
Trump
did
happened.
you get into that? Like, why did you choose to live in a? You've always been experimenting with ethno states of various kinds. You're the You're the original experimenter. But why did you like decide to do that?
I just needed a place to live. I was like 17 and doing construction. I just dropped out of high school. So I moved into a cult with a bunch of Antifa people. The whole thing fell apart because one of the Antifas stole a pair of panties from the other Antifa guy's girlfriend. And that we called that Pantygate. After Pantygate happened, the entire cult fell apart, unfortunately. So I had to find another place to live. But yeah, that was my experience with the far left.
It's always the far left guys that are the weirdest. They're actually like definitely the sexual. The right wing guys are way less like sexual predatory.
Yeah, I mean, I was stealing panties too, but you gotta hide them somewhere where people can't find them.
Did you ever bang one of the? Was it free sex? Was it just open Antifa banging all the time? Cat piss.
I mean,
cat piss scented.
They're all kind of gross.
Sex with immigrants is
They're
cat piss scented, and wonderful. Did you ever see that ad that says sex with immigrants is jasmine scented? Do you ever saw that?
Like if you fuck an Indian girl, like her pussy smells like chicken tikka masala.
It's kind of it's actually kind of like. Let me find it. Oh yeah, I don't know if this is real, but let me show it to you. There's this like street art that says sex with immigrants is jasmine scented and beautiful. Do you see it?
Jasmine.
Do you see the screen?
Scented?
Can you see the screen?
Yeah, I see it. It's very bizarre.
Beautiful. And
who is this for?
I don't know, but I can't like either. It's like. This is like something you would do. Either it's like a genius piece of like, either it's like a really good piece of right wing art or like a really bad piece of left wing art. You know.
It says sex with refugees.
Oh yeah, sorry, sex with refugees. Sorry, not immigrants. You're right. Excuse me.
I don't think that's what that smells like at all, frankly.
Yeah, sex with refugees. What does it smell like? Cat piss.
Probably like the trunk of someone's car and like duct tape and tears.
Yeah, that's funny. No, all right. So yeah, what was it like? What was the sex policy on site?
No, I didn't fuck any of those girls. They were all pretty gross and they all had weird tattoos and like didn't wash their faces. You know, there's just like. You ever hang out with somebody and they're hot, but they just don't smell right?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Like there's just like a pheromone thing. Like they were all kind of like that, and it's just it's hard. You can't get hard when you smell like cat piss.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, at least I can't.
It's funny. This is actually like kind of a common thing. There was like one of these things in LA too. Like a bunch of my friends used to live at one of these. This is like a thing. On the West Coast, I think, living in communes together. Communism. You were a communist for a little while.
Yeah, basically. No, they were all like legit. They didn't know what Antifa was yet. They had like a different name for it, and it wasn't explicitly political. It was more about like helping homeless people and gay stuff.
Art's so funny that you did that. And nobody ever got mad at you.
No, they didn't care. We would sit around and get drunk and talk shit about the Iraq War, and I would talk about how it's great what Bush was doing, and they would have their piece, and we would just talk shit, and like everybody got along, and it was no problem. And then Trump happened, and I think part of it was Facebook. I think social media really changed everything, because then you're not talking to your buddies, you're debating in front of an audience, which changes the dynamic. You know what I mean? Something happened when social media came along that it was like we're playing for keeps now. We're not just like friends talking shit. So yeah, Trump happened and Facebook happened, and then I didn't have any Antifa friends after that. Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, man, it's right. And well, now, so now what's it like where you are? Do you have like Trump friends now?
No, I don't have any friends.
That's sad. Why don't you have any friends?
Because I spend all my time online talking to Jews about my retarded energy drink.
Well, so how much, like, how serious can this get? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, can you make this into a full-time company? I mean, I remember, you came on this pod before and you were just starting this. And you were like, I don't know, like it's just for fun, blah, blah, blah. But you've sold out. So you've been successful at something in your life, which is most people never even feel like what that's like ever. So now that you've been successful at this thing, what are you going to do? I mean, like, can you keep doing this, or what do you think?
I don't know. I don't really enjoy doing it. I don't like running a business.
Running a business sucks.
Running a business sucks,
It really
dick.
does.
So I don't know. I kind of wanted to do something else on top of this and transition into something where I'm not dealing with like logistics and looking at Excel sheets and shit like that, because that's not fun. I kind of moved. We have a new product out, which is called Zog Shots, which is a lot easier to deal with. Yeah, it's 400 milligrams of caffeine and bull thyroid.
What is
and
bull
it's a lot
thyroid?
easier
I
to
noticed
make.
that. What does bull thyroid do for you?
Oh, dude, let me sell you
Sell
on
me
bull
on
thyroid.
some bull thyroid.
So, yeah, desiccated bull thyroid. It comes from grass-fed beef. They basically take out the thyroid gland and they dry it the same way you would to beef jerky, and they grind it up. We mix it up with a little bit of tangerine extract and some caffeine powder, and it's like a shot, like a 5-hour energy, basically. And what thyroid does to you, it does a lot of cool stuff. It increases your body temperature, so you can take a shot of bull thyroid and you can go outside and you won't feel cold, which is kind of cool. It's like a potion almost. And it feels like, I would compare it to, have you ever smoked meth?
I've never smoked meth. I accidentally took meth once, but I swallowed it. I didn't smoke it, so I maybe didn't get the full meth effect. Have you smoked meth?
Oh, that's gross. I've never taken.
You've never taken any kind of meth?
That's disgusting.
Wow. See,
Yeah,
I'm more
never.
white than you. At the end of the day, who's more white? Me.
No, but it does feel like almost like an Adderall or something like that. Like, it's a very intense high, very extroverted. You want to run around and write and clean your house and that sort of stuff. It also has effects on metabolism, and it's good if you're hypothyroid.
Yeah,
which a
everybody's
lot of
always talking
people
about being
are.
hypothyroid. Everybody's like, I'm hypothyroid. What the hell does that mean? Why does everybody say this all the time?
Yeah. So that basically means your thyroid, which is a little gland behind your Adam's apple, underproduces hormones. It's one of these things that people tend to overdiagnose because it tracks with other common symptoms. Like, if you're depressed, if you're anxious all the time, you feel like shit, you're gaining weight. Like,
You're hypothyroid.
Yes, hypothyroid will cause that, but that's probably not why you have it. Typically, people have that because of metabolic syndrome, which just means you're not eating.
What is that? Yeah, metabolic syndrome. Yeah, I saw some woman a while ago there's this like being fat trutherism, and it's always like women at the exact age in which their metabolism would give up, and then they're saying, I don't eat anything, but I'm still fat. And then they find out that they're hypothyroid, and that's actually what it was. It wasn't that. Yeah, they had a problem. They had a hypothyroidism. That's like what they say.
I mean, I don't want to give the left credit, but it is true that your thyroid does control how you burn calories and to what extent, your calories are processed into fat. So, I mean, that is a real thing. Obviously, your metabolism does something, right? Like, it exists. And if you have thyroid problems, yeah, it is true that you could eat like less than 2,000 calories a day and become obese. Yeah, that absolutely happens to people. The problem is,
Wait,
that
eat
once
how
you
many
admit
calories
that,
and become
everybody's
obese?
Like 2,000
Just like
calories a
normal
day.
amount,
Like,
and you
have-
become obese just because your
Yeah,
thyroid
yeah.
slows
Like,
down.
Yeah, RDV, like recommended.
Yeah, all
daily
right. Well,
value, like
okay, fine.
2,000
I believe
calories a
that.
day.
But isn't that then just your body kind of telling you, like, yo, like, you don't need to eat 2,000 calories a day? That's just when you get old, like, you don't really need to eat as much, I think. Right? It's like, it's called aging. It's not called like being hypothyroid, right?
Yeah, no, 100%. But it catches people off guard because you're doing the same thing for 50 years, and all of a sudden it makes you fat. So
Right.
people want something to blame it on. But it is, I mean, it is a real medical condition. The real tricky issue is when you get people in their 20s and 30s
Yeah,
who have this shit.
right. And then they're just like getting
But
fat.
it does happen.
Yeah. Totally. Oh, hello? Yeah, I can
Can you hear me?
Okay, so bull thyroid. So it's kind of like a little high. How long does dude, drinking KEYED definitely made me feel fucking pretty high.
So KEYED is the exact opposite. KEYED, it's mostly the magnesium and glycine kind of chills you out.
No, it made me feel weird,
you-
man. It made me feel definitely like weird.
Tell me about it.
It's yeah, it makes you kind of like buzz. It gave me like a little bit of a buzz, I think, like once. It made me definitely like feel kind of crazy. Not in a bad way particularly, but definitely didn't feel like a normal, just caffeine energy drink. It felt like there was definitely like some other stuff in there, like all at once, But the magnesium, I take magnesium as like a supplement because I find that it helps the muscles. But this didn't feel like just like magnesium. It felt like, I don't know, there's something in there. Like it felt kind of like taurine. I don't know, is there taurine in there? Is that illegal now?
No, we don't use taurine because taurine, it's in most energy drinks. It's in almost everything you're going to buy at the store. But it constricts your blood vessels and increases your heart rate. So when you take taurine, it definitely pumps you up, but it makes you feel anxious, which is not what I was going for with KEYED. KEYED, it does feel like almost drinking a beer or something. Just like you get a little bit of a buzz, but it's supposed to reduce your anxiety. That's really the goal.
Oh, that's what the magnesium is for.
The magnesium and glycine. So glycine is an amino acid that's found in raw meat. So most people are magnesium and glycine
We talked about this. We talked about this last time.
Yeah.
Glycine. That's why everybody likes glycine, because it's like, it makes you sleep, and it's like people don't get enough red meat.
Yeah, so I don't know if anybody's going to be able to buy KEYED anymore because I bought all of the ingredients in America, so I can't make it anymore. But you could buy most of this shit over the counter if you want to just take it all at once. It's just L-theanine, glycine, magnesium. You just take it at a recommended daily dose, and it'll make you.
So what are you going to do about your lack of citric acid?
I don't know. I could just start putting normal citric acid in it and not tell anybody.
Yeah, this is how these things happen, right? This is how these brands get all screwed up. It's like ingredient by ingredient. They get bought by some holding company, and then it's like, oh, well, we could go with the cheaper citric acid, and oh, we could go with the cheaper this, and then it just all becomes the same piece of shit. That's sort of like how it goes.
Yeah, another option is phosphoric acid, which is what's in soda. I can get non-GMO phosphoric. There's lots of stuff we could do. I just gotta figure something out. I think right now the plan is to shift to Zog shots. I think the future is Zog shots.
So how do you actually get the bull thyroid?
Oh, there's a bunch of different distributors. It's actually really popular right now. So we have a co-packer that makes bull thyroid out of Chicago, is where they process it, and they ship it to New Jersey, which is where the manufacturer is. They bottle everything up and ship it to me down in the south, and that's where I ship it all out. So yeah, they basically dehydrate it the same way you would make almost like beef jerky. They take the glands and they grind it up and put it into a fine powder, and that just gets mixed into a drink.
And how do you find this stuff? Like, do you just Google like wholesale bull prostate? Like, how do you find it?
Yeah, I mean, I take a bunch of weird stuff. I mean, I've been taking weird supplements for decades. I could red pill you on a bunch of shit. Bromantine, that's a good one. A lot of weird gray market shit I get from Russia. There's a lot of good stuff that improves your memory. You should definitely try bromantine. It's basically like a dopamine exhibitor. So if you take nicotine or caffeine and then you take bromantine with it, it's a little dropper you put under your tongue. It increases the effects of any other substances you take. So it's got kind of a multiplier effect.
It's approved in Russia for the treatment of neurasthenia.
Yeah, totally.
What the hell is that?
I have no idea.
Oh, it's related to memantine. You got to get some memantine in there. That'll be a good addition. Memantine.
Yeah, there's another one. I can't remember what it's called. It's like legalized Adderall that you can get online. It's real popular. And there's an energy drink company on Twitter that sells this stuff, and I know there's no way they're doing it legally. But I wish I could remember their names. Like, give them a shout out, because props to those guys going all out. But yeah, to get back to your point earlier, KEYED is actually pretty tame compared to some of the other shit you can get on the internet. Like, it really is the Wild West out there.
Yeah, well, and I think that's kind of what you're proving with this marketing too. It's like you can do more in DTC marketing than you can in a media company. Like, you can say things with your DTC marketing that like are illegal to say, you know, like in Europe. You know what I'm saying? It's like we're supposed to be a free speech country, but actually, like, you're more able to like say stuff in marketing than you are in like on TV. You know, it's so weird.
Oh yeah, did I tell you that KEYED got banned in Romania?
No, why? How? Why and how?
Yeah, I got an email that said we were basically some hate speech thing or something. So yeah, I can't advertise KEYED in
Wow.
Romania.
So there you go. So you did get. I was asking, did you ever get any institutional problems? And you know, there you go. You did. You got hit. You got hit by the Romanian government. You and Andrew Tate. You guys are the number one Romanian enemies, basically, right?
Which is a problem, because after this e-girl thing, I really do have one foot in the door for sex trafficking. So that would have been a really good opportunity.
What e-girl? Oh yeah, right. Now, yeah,
You know,
you can just create them.
When one door closes, when one door closes.
Yeah. So yeah, I noticed that you actually, so you were trying to do this coffee thing. You were like sort of hitting these girls up, and just kind of like, you didn't telegraph this completely, right? Like, you were kind of hitting them up and just seeing what would happen, just as ideas, it seemed like, because you were posting a bunch of shit that they were saying and doing. And then you just sort of arrived at this, it seemed like. Is that true?
Yeah, I'm not really a planner. I just kind of wing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just kind of feel it out as I go. You know, it's like that George R. Martin thing about architects and gardeners.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm like a retarded gardener. I just kind of go with the flow.
Yeah,
You know
I'm
what
the
I
same,
mean?
dude.
So I was kind of going with whatever, really just whatever I thought was funny. Like, I posted a thing with her saying that we got an internship at the Daily Wire. You know, the Ben Shapiro place.
I'm aware.
So that was
I'm
pretty
aware of
funny. You know, just shit like that. Just getting people worked up, I guess. But yeah, there wasn't really a plan going in, other than trying to bait like communists into getting her fired. Other than that, it was just like whatever I thought was funny at the time. I've been on a 3-day fast, and you know, a couple days into it, I got sick, so I started drinking a lot of cough medicine. So, like, I've just been kind of riding that wave and posting, you know what I'm saying?
So what kind of like weird, so because you made up a daycare and you like somehow, how did you make it so that people saw the number of the daycare? That's like pretty advanced, man. That's like some CIA shit. How did you do that?
You just make a LinkedIn page, and you paste the, so you make a LinkedIn page, right, for an individual, and then that individual connects to a business, and then that business has a phone number on it. And that phone number goes to a Google Voice account.
So how many
that make
messages
sense?
did you get?
Oh my God, like 700.
No!
Like, yeah, it filled up the voicemail, because there's a limit on how much, like for a free account, how much data you can have. So it filled up at a couple hundred, and then it stopped recording.
Oh my God, dude. That is amazing. You had several hundred messages? Holy shit.
Yeah, I mean, I had thousands of DMs, like thousands, people saying they were gonna kill me and all this stuff, you know.
Kill you
Like,
or kill her?
people sending me
Kill you or
pictures.
kill her?
Kill me because I am.
Well, no, but I'm saying, was this
Yeah.
after you revealed or before?
Oh, this
So
is
yeah, they
before.
thought they were talking to her.
This is.
And so what did
Yeah,
they
yeah,
say?
yeah.
What did these messages say?
You know, it's all just like Reddit, copy paste stuff, like fuck around and find out. You know, make Nazis afraid again, all that sort of shit. Just
Oh
slop,
man.
you know. It's just shit they've seen other people say.
That's what people, but on the phone, what did they say on the phone?
Oh, like, you know, you piece of shit. I just talked to your boss. You know, shit, stuff like that. Just like a lot of threats, and I mean, it's just dumb people. Like, it's a lot of just low IQ ranting. Like the kind of person who would pick up the phone and call somebody's boss. These are not like the best and the brightest. These are like the kind of people who call into like you know, public access TV channels. You're just retards. Like, so yeah, just a lot of ranting and screaming and crying and a lot of nonsense.
Damn. That's really funny, man. That's really, really funny. That's amazing that you did that, man. That's really, really cool. Yeah, you got to save those messages, dude. We should do, you know what we should do, man? When my media company takes off, which is going to be called the Zog News, and I'm going to be somehow undermining the fabric of American society. We should do a like an art show of this. This would be a fucking great art show. Dude, I know some like artists here that would fucking eat this shit up. Seriously.
You know what we could do?
What the fuck is the deal
ga-
with your sound? I swear to God. It just got loud. You're doing this on purpose? It's so funny. This is not
Can
a
you
good
hear me?
troll. Not
Can you
a
hear
good
me?
troll. It's pointless.
You know what we
Pointless.
should do? We should do a gallery of right-wing accounts penises because I have all of them
Because
now.
they were
I
sending,
have all of the
really?
dick pics.
Is that for real? Did you really get dick pics from right-wing accounts?
Of course, are you kidding?
You
Of course
really
I
did?
did. Okay, yeah, of course.
From people. Wait, you also said you emailed BAP. Did you really email BAP? Or DM BAP?
Yeah, I messaged him. He was normal. He didn't do anything weird. But I really wanted him to like me as coffee.
What did he say?
He was just like, "Why are you doing this?"
It just said, "Why are you like posting these things?" What did you say to him? What did you try to say?
Let me think. So I said somebody told me to reach out to him, so I messaged him and said, "Hey, I lost my job. People told me to reach out to you." And he's like, "All right, what do you want?" Basically, and I was like, "Can you teach me how to be right wing? I just posted your book." And he was like, "Thanks." and then I just kept trying to bait him into talking to me, and he wasn't taking it. I think he knew it was up.
It was some kind of troll. You had to. Well, that's more than he responds to me. So at least we know that he likes the ladies enough to respond. That's a good sign. Yeah, dude. You got to save those voicemails. I hope you saved them because we should do an art exhibit of this one day. This would make like a really good art exhibit if you just like posted all of these things together, like a marketing case study, like / art exhibit, because it's actually really fascinating. Like you actually really are doing something incredibly unique. You're an artist, bro. You really are. You just gotta cure yourself of actual anti-Semitism one day. But wait, hold on. Do you have? I kind of want to like share this. Like, what do you have in terms of like actual like collateral? Like you have you were like obviously recording all of this, right? I can't believe you actually got dick pics from actual. That's fucking crazy. You really did? Like is that something people do? Right when accounts just send dick pics like willy nilly?
Collateral. See, you're building the dam right
Am
now.
I?
See, this is
because I'm
this is
looking
P
for the
Diddy
collateral, I
Epstein
see.
shit.
No, I'm just genuinely wondering, like, did you save it?
Did I save other men's penis photos? No, I didn't. I didn't save the
See,
penis
dude,
pictures.
this is Mossad needs to hire you. Mossad, if you're listening, hire Jacob because he is doing a better job getting dick pics than you guys are, clearly. But I can't believe accounts that's bullshit. No way. People don't just straight up just randomly send dick pics. Maybe like little shitty accounts, like Anon accounts, right?
Yeah. A lot of black guys
there
too.
you
A
go.
lot of like middle-aged black dudes.
I like how that's their response. They're like, I don't care if you're fucking dialing Hitler, just let me jerk off to this. That's hilarious. No, but this would make like seriously like an incredible, like in 10 years when when you have your ethno state and you're living in your ethno state, we can do a art exhibit of this because it's really fascinating. So I hope you're saving. You don't need to save dick pics, but I hope you're saving like the voicemail messages. That would just be so fascinating. Like you should pick the most insane voicemail messages and like post them. Like that would be really funny.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a Twitter thread on it, so I might just upload them to Twitter with screenshots of some of the funnier stuff. I'm not gonna post anything from our guys because I want it to be fun. I don't want it to be mean.
No, right, exactly.
But as far as like people outside our sphere, yeah, I've got screenshots of all that shit, so I might upload all that to Twitter. That'd be pretty funny.
Dude, that'd be really fun. I also
people are down bad, bro. I'll tell you, guys are desperate. Guys are not having a good time out there. Some of the shit people sent me, like it's rough being a Zoomer right now.
Like what?
I mean, just like I'll going off of one photo they saw online, like, hey, I'll fly you out here.
God.
You know, like
Jesus.
Here's my height and weight and my income, and I had a lot of guys sending me pictures of their 23andMe results.
Oh. Dude, that's wow. I mean, you can't blame them for that one. What did you see? It was just 100%. What constitutes Aryan these days? What are they going for? What's a good one? Do they want to be Anglo? Do they want to be German? What's the one? What do they want?
I mean, in my opinion, I'm the only white person on the planet, and everybody else is a non-Aryan.
Yeah. So what are
That's
you?
my metric. Me, I'm 100% Indo-European R1B.
Okay, so you're some kind of weird Polish freak. Okay, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, my chest is just covered in chest hair with a thin gold chain. That's what Aryans look like.
No, yeah, I just wonder, like, what do you want to be? Is there any sort of, like, in the ethno state, let me ask you this. In the ethno state, is there any ranking between the European races? See, now I'm trying to sow division among your people. That's a typical Jew tactic. So, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
What do you want to be in the, is there a hierarchy within the ethno state of what you want to be?
Yeah, absolutely. Northern Europeans, first and foremost. Anglos,
Anglos
are good people. Anglos are good people, but you have to sort of regulate their agency because people who evolve on islands, they tend to be xenophilic. So Anglos, you got to treat them right, but they can't have any political power.
Anglos are very Jewish.
The Anglos have to be
extremely Jewish. Yeah.
Exactly. So the Anglos have to be ruled by swarmy Mediterraneans who are extremely racist, and they have to be watched by Northern Europeans. So there's kind of separate branches, if that makes sense, equal but opposite. It's almost like the American government, but with the three different European races.
Well, you're basically talking about the Netherlands. But the thing is that you don't. This is the thing that nobody, because none of you people don't have passports and you can't leave the country. If you actually go to Northern Europe, this is what I want everybody to do. Every anti-Semite, go live in Copenhagen for 6 months, and then come back and tell me that you want to move to Copenhagen. The Northern Europeans are not who you think they are. The Northern Europeans are not like this idealized white person. They really aren't. Like, they're not. they're like weird, kind of monkeyish white people in their own way. Like they're actually very strange people. There's a reason why nobody moves to fucking Copenhagen, man. Like that doesn't happen.
Yeah, they're all introverted and borderline
they're
autistic.
very weird.
But
They're
that
like
is
not cool.
that is the master race. You wouldn't get it, but that is the master race. It's weird, introverted, autistic white people who don't want to talk to anybody. That's what the master race looks like.
I would say the master race probably looks more like, I mean, maybe like Northern Italian, right? Like Northern Italian.
Disgusting.
Northern. Disgusting. Like Northern Italian Swiss, I feel like that's the sweet spot that you want to be, because I'm telling you, man, you don't like, Swedes are not what people really have a extremely idealized view of Swedish people, like in America. Like they're not that great. Like nobody wants to fucking move to Stockholm. This Stockholm fucking sucks, dude. Have you ever been to fucking Stockholm? It like looks nice, but it sucks, man. You don't want to live in fucking Stockholm. Your taxes are 90%. You want to pay fucking 90% taxes? No, nobody wants that.
Yeah, but I would pay 90% taxes to live in an ethno state. I mean, that's basically, you're getting into basically Nazbol at that territory.
But that's, why don't you then just move to fucking Copenhagen or Sweden? Like it's I guess it's not that easy. Like you'd have to find a job there.
Because I'm white trash. I wouldn't want to do that to them.
You don't want to bring them down. No, but see, that's what I'm saying. Like actually, American white people are like so much better than fucking European white people. European white people are not very cool. It's kind of like African Americans and Africans. Like Americans are just a cool people naturally. The Europeans are fucking lame. And particularly the Northern Europeans. They're really not cool.
The problem is that people are working off of like a 19th century template, and most of Europe they've been a conquered people for like 100 years, and they're basically like a the difference between a slave race and a master race. It's like you choose death over being conquered, and Europe's been a vassal state for like 50 years now.
America?
So
yeah,
of course. So I mean, they have no mojo left. It's all been
it's a
wiped
grave.
out.
Everybody's dying. It's we did this event in Portugal, and the thing in Portugal was everywhere we went, we got a noise complaint. Every single place, people were disgusted by the amount of noise we were making, and it's like it was like being a black person in America. And it's because everybody in Portugal it's like everybody's dying aunt is just dying in her apartment. And she's in her government subsidized apartment. She's just dying. And she just wants it quiet. Just let me die. Let me die in peace. Like that's Europe. Europe is just like a dying old aunt who's like making noise complaints.
Is the N-word of the world.
Dude, we really are, man. Anyway, all right. Well, this was fun. Always good talking to you. I wish you weren't doing sound trolling, but whatever. You can tell your anti-Semitic friends you got me. Good one. And yeah, well, I tell people to buy KEYED. Well, okay, but do you have any Zog shots available?
Yeah, Zog shots. They're on KEYEDenergy.com.
Okay. Buy some Zog shots.
KEYEDenergy.com.
Yeah.
Zog shots.
Buy Zog shots. Support the artistic movement, but don't actually hate Jews. This is the lesson from this podcast. Okay. Anything else you want to say?
Israel is our greatest ally.
Thank you so much. All right, buddy. I'll see you later. I'm pressing the button.